Matters with Paul Rosen.
And if you really think about it, what does medication do except treat the symptom?
Exactly.
Then once you eliminate that and you reach a different plateau, it's undescribable.
Straight talk about health with your host, Paul Rosen.
So the average U.S. woman uses 12 personal care products and or some type of cosmetic in a day.
Okay, so women have special pressure on them to use cosmetics.
Containing at least 150 to 160 or more different chemicals.
So we've mentioned soap, but you're referring also to cosmetics, as you said. So that could be eyeliner or...
We're not even talking about the chemicals that lurk in cleaning products and food packaging and furniture and carpeting.
Furniture?
Yes.
So would that be cleaners also on
cleaners
the furniture?
and worse, the chemicals that they use to so-called protect from flammability.
Well, and maybe also colors. You say,
but they don't. That's the point.
That they're not flame-proof?
No, they're not. But you suffer from the chemicals as they essentially evaporate into the air of your home. And some are even linked to cancer. Interestingly, about 80% of the women who develop breast cancer have no family history of the disease, but who all are exposed to environmental chemicals, including those that disrupt your endocrine system. We talked a lot about that last week.
And it's horrifying to me to think that women in particular are exposed to this because they use cosmetics on a daily basis that men probably don't use, the eyeliner and whatnot.
Absolutely.
And other things I can't mention, or, I can't mention them because I don't know everything women use, in the way of cosmetics every day. But every one of those products probably has something in it that's not good, something that's toxic.
Guaranteed. And you know what the good news is? The good news is you can avoid it. There are alternatives. We're going to talk about some.
So in addition to alternative soaps and detergents, there are alternative cosmetics.
Absolutely. And air fresheners and soaps and deodorants and all kinds of stuff.
So the good news there is all these things that we rely on every day that we've become accustomed to, we can still use. We just have to use the right ones.
Correcta Tuesday.
Well, that's good.
Or I guess Correcta Monday?
Correcta Mundo. That's the Fonz way of saying it. All of you who get the Fonz reference are of a certain demographic, but I'm sure you do.
And an age, too.
Well, that's what I meant. That's a polite way of saying it.
Right. Let's focus on fragrances and cleaning and personal care products. What are the offending chemicals in particular, right? These things have been related to cancer, reproductive toxicity, and compromise, allergies, migraines. Wow, the list just goes on. Parabens, P-A-R-A-B-E-N-S, are synthetic preservatives known to interfere with hormone production and release. Our own hormone production and release. Parabens. Phthalates, which are basically spelled P-H-T-H-A-L-A-T-E-S. This is a synthetic preservative that is carcinogenic and linked to adverse reproductive effects, right? And synthetic musks or fragrances. These are linked to hormone disruption and are thought to persist and accumulate in breast milk, body fat, umbilical cord blood, and, of course, the environment.
So let's expand on that a little bit. If you're disrupting the production of hormones, you're going to do bad things to your body, right? Your hormones.
Yeah, I mean, the phthalates are known to damage the male reproductive system.
Oh, you should have said that first. Everybody's going to be worried about that now. That's
artificial muscles accumulate in the body is going to be found, as I said, in breast milk and so forth. Asthma can be both the cause, right, due to these chemicals. I mean, the list goes on.
And if you have an existing condition like asthma, as you just indicated, these chemicals can make it far worse.
Vinyl products, right? You know that smell in new plastic products, like a shower curtain?
Sure. I think many of us kind of like that smell because we've come to associate it with newness.
Well, these vinyl chloride products are also found in detergents, of course, hoses of various stripes and nature, raincoats, adhesives, air fresheners, toys, and even in some soaps, shampoos, lotions, and nail polish.
Okay, you mentioned
polyvinyl chlorides.
You mentioned things like raincoats. Now we're getting to clothing. The clothing we wear even is bad for us, maybe, if it has these particular chemicals in it.
Indeed.
And it looks like we have a call, so shall we go to the phones?
I would love to.
Okay, there's not a name listed here. It just says wireless caller.
Hello,
So,
hi.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air with Paul Rosen. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hi.
Hey, this is Ann. I have a question about
Sure, Ann.
sort of a ergonomic, environmental type question.
Sure.
I may be moving to a new building that's being built. It's a brand new building with my employer, and there's going to be new carpeting, new furniture. Everything is new there, and I'm wondering what should I be looking out for, and how can I protect myself or even detox from some of the things that I might be exposed to.
That's a
what
great-
would it be, and how can I get clean from them?
That's a great question. Well, first of all, you can get some various types of plants, live plants that you can put in the atmosphere. In your in your space, and they will be very useful in taking things out, like formaldehyde, for example. Believe it or not,
They actually absorb formaldehyde.
they absolutely yes. They actually absorb formaldehyde. Plants are our friends in so many ways.
Yeah.
And for the types of plants, you can actually Google plants to condition your air, your household air, and the various types of plants. You can also, I don't know if it's available on EWG.org, but environmentalworkinggroup.org is a main source for a lot of alternatives to what I'm discussing today.
That's good to know.
Yeah, EWG.org.
I've heard of them. Yeah. I have one other question. My husband and I just bought a sleep number bed, and as we're putting it together, it's an air bed.
Yeah.
And I just think, it occurred to me, they say you're supposed to air out your shower curtain to let the gases, off gas
Right.
and release before you put it, because they're highly carcinogenic.
Yes.
So I started thinking about the sleep number bed and, the mattress of it and all the components, the foam and everything. And I'm wondering, what about that? Can you speak to that?
Well, I mean, I can't speak specifically to that make or model, but you're on the right track. And so the other thing that I would do is think about getting a very good air purifier. Now, there are tons of air purifiers out there, and many of which are useless. But there are some that are extremely useful and work. They're not cheap. They're not cheap. You'll pay for a good one. You'll pay anywhere between, $500, $600, $700, and $1,000 for it.
How can you tell the difference between a good one and a cheap one?
Well, the rating. And
Rating
I would go to EWG.org.
Okay.
And then do some research on the web, and you'll and look at the specifics of what the air purifiers filter out and what they don't.
Yeah.
And so, you'll have to come. There are different products out there, so I can't say buy this one because you might not be able to afford $1,500. I don't know. It's a lot of money, but the truth of the matter is, when I'm working with people who are suffering from all different kinds of functional illnesses, these are the kinds of things that they start to put their money in rather than chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
I hope that helps.
It does. Thank you.
You're welcome. You can get cloth shower curtains that are made out of, cotton.
A little more expensive, maybe?
They are a little bit more expensive, but they're totally worth it. They also last longer. Totally washable.
But you'll have to get the right detergent to wash your cloth shower curtains, right?
Yeah, that's easy.
Okay.
That's easy. Actually, I mean, one soap that you can use for just about everything you clean in the house is Dr. Bronner's.
Brauners?
Bronners.
Of course, it was the easier way,
Right.
so I went the
You went
more
the German
difficult
way.
Well, who wouldn't? Anyway, Dr. Bronner's.
Bronner's.
Brauners.
And get there are a number of different options. Get the almond soap, the almond soap.
Why is that? Is that healthier in some way?
Because, again, it contains some scents. Like, for example, people think, mint. Let's have mint around.
Sure.
Problem is that mint is very caustic for thyroids. It has a hyperstimulatory effect on thyroids.
So again, to use this...
And if you've got migraine problems, mint is not what you want to be around, for example.
To use this as an example, that almond scent is natural in this case in
Yes.
Dr. Bronner's product?
Yes.
And you are not a paid spokesperson for Dr. Bronner at
No,
all?
I'm paying to use the product.
No, okay. Well, there you go. You're a satisfied customer, in other words.
Yeah.
So that gets to the point again.
So you asked, what could you use to clean your... We use it to wash our clothes. We use it to wash, to clean the bathroom. We use them to clean the floors.
So all those things
And, of course, cleaning a bathroom.
all those things
vinegar.
for which... Vinegar?
Vinegar.
No kidding?
Vinegar.
That's a pretty harsh smell.
For a very short period of time.
Okay.
But also an extremely effective antiseptic.
But there you hit it again, Paul. I think some people may hear that and say, "Eesh, I don't want vinegar. I don't want that scent around my bathroom, even for a short period of time."
Doesn't stay.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Doesn't stay.
That sounds very old school, like very old-fashioned, like maybe our grandmothers had it right all along.
Well, there were things that cleaned bathrooms before chemical-laden products.
Well, what about this? My mother and my grandmother used to put the Arm & Hammer baking soda in the refrigerator.
That's also another possibility.
Okay.
Right?
So
one is acidic, that's the vinegar. One is alkaline, which is baking soda. And you'll find that one works better than the other,
Right.
depending on what you're cleaning.
Baking soda used to be kind of a catch-all product. You could use it for cleaning, but it's also a scent killer. So old school again, you would put an open package of that in your refrigerator, and it would kill the scents in there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Although I suppose if you're not saving that casserole from 8 weeks ago, you wouldn't need the baking soda necessarily in your refrigerator. But it does work. I can speak from experience on that.
Yeah, it definitely works. It definitely works. So those are some alternatives.